Hello, everybody. Welcome in Indiana basketball after the game, and a great special guest tonight. I call him the wall poster, AJ Moye. You know why I call him that too? Welcome in, man. Welcome in. Snuck in for a game. Came in from the West Coast.
Yeah.
You brought them the luck they needed. Indiana on a 5-game skid. AJ Moye comes in and scrapped it out all night long. They played some pretty scrappy defense. They shot the ball. Well, I think with a minute to go, they were still shooting 60% from the field. Some staggering numbers. Maurice Thompson, but Xavier Johnson, especially with what he's been going through, the ups and downs that he's had. What a night that he had.
Yeah, I was proud of him. People don't know this, but me and X, we're pretty close. Like, we talk every week. And I was out here today at probably about 5, had to be about 5:20, 5:30. And he was out here. And so I brought him his shoes because he said he wanted some Dame Lillards or something. So I was up there in the equipment room talking with Jay and Rusty. And I said, "Oh, well,
he turned you into the equipment man."
No, but I volunteered. I said, hey, I'll take the shoes down to him. And then, of course, just gave him his shoes. And then we talked for a little bit. And then, I just told him, I said, hey, man, listen, we went on a 5-game skid. We went on a 3-game skid. We went to the Final Four. We won a Big Ten championship. Like, it doesn't matter. I told her, I said, sometimes it's going to happen, right? Sometimes it's going to happen. So we were just talking, and, of course, I'm always, telling them little pointers, giving them things of that nature. But I said, hey, stay with it. Keep going. I say, you can still be improving and be losing games. Doesn't matter. I said, it's not like you guys were blown out. Like, you guys are losing games right at the end. Keep putting it together. I said, today is a great opportunity to come out, get you a win playing the right way, play hard. And I trust him to put it together because I told him, point blank to me, I said, as a point guard, I mean, a lot of the leadership is going to fall on your shoulders, right? So, I was very adamant in telling him, get to the paint. Because when he gets to the paint, man, he's pretty unstoppable. And he's a terror at getting to the paint, man. He comes out there.
He's hit 17 out of his last 18 over the last 2 games. Yeah. I wanted to go back to the game before that to see because he is just tearing it up there, but it's because exactly what you said. He's getting to the rack and either scoring or they're fouling him, and he is knocking the free throws down.
It's just all about him getting to the paint because when he gets to the paint, he can get there quick. He has burst. He has speed. The thing I love what he's doing and what the coach has been working with him on has been, slowing down his speed, manipulating those screens. And he's doing a wonderful job of that, man. And kudos to him. Maurice Thompson, man, solid. For Race is so solid. Race is just a solid kid, man.
There were 3 possessions, talking about X, where he got into the paint and he did 3 different things. Mm-hmm. On the first time, he pulled up. He's very controlled, a nice, easy floater that went down. The next time, he dished it off to Trace Jackson Davis. And the next time I'm trying to remember, it was something different that happened, but it also resulted, I think, in a Race Thompson bucket. Yeah. Because they didn't know what he was going to do. Getting into the paint, like you said, and creating havoc.
Yeah, he's reading. The thing with X that I love, with X that I love, he comes off, he makes the primary read, which is seeing the roller. Now, if that roll is there, he's going to hit Trace diving to the rim every time. If not, he has Race, Race is kind of like off ball, but he's kind of like in the mid post area, so he can hit him quick, and then Race can hit Trace, or Race can skip across to the 3-point shooter on the wing, or either in the corner, or Race can make a quick move to the bucket. And so he was doing a great job of that. And not only that, he was doing a great job of going one more dribble in and then hitting the guy in the opposite corner. So man, that was a masterful job today. I was very happy for him, and I love him a great deal. And he's a great kid.
Yeah, and the stat line for a lot of guys tonight. I wonder how much did what Xavier was doing And it wasn't just Xavier, obviously, but Indiana spent so much time in the paint tonight. I know they had one. I didn't see the final stats yet, but 42 paint points versus 20. But how much did that open up the rest of their offense? Because we saw Miller Kopp scoring, but also coming into the paint to score. I know that the 8 Hoosiers scored. All of them had paint points. Yeah, every one of them.
That's the thing with Miller too. I was talking to Miller before the game as well, and I said, "Hey, you got to shoot the ball." I said, "When you catch it in the corner, be ready to shoot." And I said, "You can go 2 dribbles." I said, "You can go 1 dribble pull up, or you can get 2 dribbles get to the rim, right?" And of course, I'm not saying anything new. I know they're told this, but it's great that when your message can be supported by players who've done the same thing as what you're trying to get these players to do. But I was proud of Miller. I was proud of Race. I was proud of Trace, because I loved how Trace kept competing. I thought the first 2 whistles on Trace, they were very extremely strange. Like the first one looked like a clear block. He blocked it with his elbow, and on the second one, I don't even think he touched the guy. But he stuck with it, and then Trace he's kind of like a 3-point shooter with his activity level, because he can get a couple of blocks in a quick heartbeat, and then once he gets like a resounding dunk, it's usually followed up by and one, like and it keeps going. So I just, like I said, man, X played a great job at the point, and one person who I feel like with Anthony Leal, right? It's like, yeah, Ant only had 3 points and 1 rebound, 1 assist, maybe 1 steal. I'm not sure, right?
Had a good defensive stop,
but man, no, Ant played so good, because Ant was the assist man to the assist man, right? He'd catch the ball, and a lot of
setup man.
Yeah, like a lot of people, the first shot they see, they shoot, right? But he was catching it, drawing the defender, then kicking. He was catching it, penetrate, kick. And it either be to a shooter or to a guy cutting in or driving in for a layup. So he was doing a lot of those extra things that you need on quality teams. You have that, like guys that, in the stat sheet it looks like, oh, they just had a pedestrian night, but Anthony Leal was a big time asset to us this game, big time.
And this team looked to grow up, which it's easy to say that. It's one game. Maryland has been having some troubles. It's not a top 10 team, but the problems Indiana had been having, they had to solve on their own, and they seem to do that tonight. But they have to continue to do that, of course. Yeah. But they look like a different team, because the complaints over the last 5 games, it's not been about them playing hard. It's been about certain things that they were able to avoid tonight. They continued with the recipe. They continued to pound the ball into the paint. They continued doing the things they were supposed to do without giving up on them. Although it wasn't perfect, they were stretches they gave up to Maryland. Maryland, they never had Maryland put away. Yeah. It was a little scary. They kept letting them hang around, but they did the right things. They didn't turn the ball over, less than 12 turnovers. 44 points in the paint. That's what they ended up with.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge.
I mean, 44 stinking points in the paint.
But I mean, again, when you look at X, man, 7 for 7 from the field, all of his shots were good. 3 for 3 from 3, all of it was good. So I mean, it's everyone who played tonight played great to me. Like everyone who played, they executed their role. Even like Michael Durr and Geronimo, right? When Trace got in the foul trouble.
Michael Durr only played 6 minutes.
Yeah, but it was when Trace was in that foul trouble, and he played great. He came in, he had that assist to Race. Race got the dunk down the lane, he hit Durr on the block. Durr drew the double team, hits Race cutting down the lane, dunk. And Michael Durr does a great job defensively, right? It's like it's like we have both, right, in our centers, right? We have a center like Trace Jackson Davis, who's explosive shot blocker. It's kind of like almost like a Giannis, not calling him Giannis, but saying like he's explosive with his shot blocking ability. And then you have a center that's like Marc Gasol, not calling Michael Durr Marc Gasol, but he's not aerial. Right. He's not aerially like the most athletic person in the world. But he's always there, straight hands, straight arms up in the air, and his base is so solid that they can't move them, so they bump up against them, but they end up going away from the basket and they shoot short shots. So it was great to see.
We had a great defensive stop on this end.
But he had a couple
pointed out 2 great plays. He only played 6 minutes, people, and so he had 2 impact plays. And that's the thing that Indiana was not getting the impact plays from the guys and as often as not.
And the thing is, we were doing tonight, we were moving the basketball. Like anytime you can get more assists and turnovers, hey, you're probably going to win the game, right?
I hate to say this word because it gets people get excited, but there was so much motion with their offense tonight. And I don't mean a motion offense. I meant there's just motion in their offense, and that caused problems for Maryland.
Driving, dump off, swing. I saw a lot more swings tonight. Like even though he shot it great, he caught it a couple times and had an open shot, but then he passes to the corner for a better shot, or he catches and he rips and he drives and he kicks and get a better shot. So I loved our patience and our poise, and just real proud of how those guys came together and executed tonight.
This team has been a lot of talk because of having to win. This was considered a must-win game, but they've got 4 games left now. There are actually 3 that most people think that they need to win. This was one of them. They've got to go to Minnesota to play in that barn, which it's always been a tough place to play, but Minnesota's not great, and they have to play like they did tonight and not get away from things. And then they also probably need to beat a good Rutgers team that's going to be coming in here that's been playing well. But
Rutgers is so sneaky, because Rutgers, when you look at it, I think against ranked teams this year they're like 5-0. They're like 4-0 or 5-0. It's something crazy. That's against ranked teams. So that's very scary, because I think half of those games are on the road. It's not like they're just beating them at Rutgers; they're beating them anywhere. So when you talk about Rutgers and you talk about how they play, and the fact that with Ron Harper Jr., the point guard, they have guys on their team that are just not scared of any moment whatsoever. And offensively, it's one of the most free-flowing and one of the most non-restrictive offenses in the Big Ten. They don't really play Big Ten basketball. They're still playing Big East, like run and gun.
Yeah,
let's go.
That'll run you to death.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick reset here. Don't forget all good friends at Endeavor Hospitality. That includes Southern Stone, Cabello, which is right up on the square, which I'm going to be heading to when I get out of here to have some great food. Looking forward to that. AJ is welcome to come along. I'm going to buy him dinner. So make sure you all reach out there and stop in and tell them we said hi. Question that was up there a second ago. Someone wanted to ask if have you ever run into Carlos Boozer after the block?
I have, man. I love Carlos. I love him as a human being. I love him as a worker. I love him as a person. So Carlos is
I just see his person. Kid? He's got a kid.
No, he's got 2 kids. They can play.
Yeah, I just saw something about
they both can play. They both can play.
Are you doing any recruiting? Get them to IU?
I don't want any part of that. Yeah, I hope, but they're outstanding young men, and I know that Carlos probably has them on a daily development regimen already. So they're getting better.
Absolutely. I mentioned the tournament a minute ago. That's a prediction thing, I know, but this team, I said today on the show that they're not playing. They hadn't been playing well, and a lot of the criticisms were founded. But I said they still have the opportunity, and I think that they can still do it. And they showed tonight that they can.
Oh yeah, I think on the Fox Sports show, it's all prognosticating and people trying to predict the future. But on the first 4 out of the tournament, they had IU there. So that's pretty good. It's pretty hopeful. But at the end of the day, man, the Big Ten is a gauntlet. It's a war zone. Big Ten has always been a war zone. So it's like every year. Some years the Big Ten is like heralded and paraded about as the conference to beat. And some years it's like it's a down year for the Big Ten.
We got the coaches fighting, man.
But they say that every year, like it's this year for the Big Ten. But every year, come Sweet 16, it's 4 to 5 Big Ten teams in it, because the Big Ten is a war zone. The Big Ten is like guys leave the Big Ten and they go to other programs, and then the other programs ranked forever. So it's like the Big Ten is a war zone, right? So you just gotta have your big boots on and strap them up and be ready to go.
No question, Indiana will still be a lower seed, no doubt. But they could, if they continue to play, and continue to grow with each other like we saw tonight, they could end up being a team that one of those teams you kind of don't want to run into in the tournament in those first 2 games. Are like, because you always have those teams that just get hot at the right time. Is this Indiana's time? Well, we'll find out. There's more games. I'm not jumping up and down about this, but it was a great performance. It was one of the better team performances that we've seen from them. They stayed in together completely. I mean, they were really, everything was just folding into the next guy. It was like 3 or 4 different people would touch the ball. We hadn't seen that all year.
Well, and that's basketball. Like I said, I was talking with X before the game, and I'm just telling him, hey man, it's basketball. It's simple. It's just basketball. But I'm so proud of X, man. Like we just saw each other in the locker room. I was in the back with the team, and it was fun. But he had to go do some media obligations, and I told him I'm gonna catch up with him after this. But I'm really proud of X for how he competed tonight and how he played some very. It was just great basketball play.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was phenomenal.
Someone else had up there, I forget who it was, but thank you for reminding me. Maurice Creek, he is in all of our thoughts and prayers, man. He is not in Kiev. I was texting with him all day, really. Just I was like, damn, he may not. I'm sure he's worried, but I was making me sick because I can see it on TV, and it is very, very worrisome. But he's in all of our thoughts and prayers. He texted out earlier before the game that he's okay, he's doing okay, and I'm trying to think of remember where in the world that town. He's over on the coast of the Black Sea.
Yeah,
I believe. I can't remember the name of that town, and I'm trying to find the stupid text now. But anyway, keep him in your thoughts and prayers. We're all thinking about him, and hopefully he can get out of there as soon as absolutely possible. It's just there it is. It's just Mykolaiv, Mykolaiv. Mykolaiv.
6 hours away.
Yeah, it's over on the coast. But and I hadn't heard anything that happened there, so I was watching the news. So, but fortunate. Hopefully they get Rob Fennessy back. That would be a big help. I want to get AJ out of here. How much of a boost would that be, though?
It's a big time boost, and I was telling someone earlier how much I love and I admire, and I really feel Rob Fennessy is such a treat as a point guard and just a great basketball player. Provides leadership from just the heady standpoint and from the standpoint of emotional intangibles, right? He's just a solid vet, and I love his spur of the moment play. Like he lives for those moments, and he's definitely a guy that we would need down the stretch. Having him and X, and being able to kind of have both of them play together, one in the game, one out the game. It's nice.
And getting Trey Galloway back. I mean, if they get him back, this could be a team.
What happened to Galloway?
Oh, yeah, he's just. I think he's just dinged up. It's nothing. Nothing like Rob has been dealing with. He's just been dinged up for the last couple of games, but they haven't had him. He was not available tonight or the previous game against previous game. So getting both those guys back would be a gigantic boost for this team as they head down the stretch. AJ, I can't thank you enough. Doing work out at the academy still in the Mamba.
Yep. Love it every day.
And he is the man out at the Mamba Academy. But he's the man here for us. We cannot thank him enough. Anytime he's in town, we're going to get him fed, whether it's at Southern Stone or Cabello, wherever it has to be. But big thanks to him. Thanks to John, the producer. Most importantly, thanks to you guys. Without you, we've got no reason to be here. Special thanks to AJ Moye tonight, though, man. The wall poster. AJ Moye, big thanks, man. Have a good night. And you guys, too. Until tomorrow, I will see you on the radio.
We rule this land. Oh.